Most people talk about changing their lives, but very few follow through. Why is that? Why do so many stop at the first sign of discomfort while a small group keeps going until they reach the life they want? Today, I want you to ask yourself something important. What if you were part of that small group? What if you became the person who shows up, who stays focused, who keeps promises, who pushes through tired days, and who builds discipline day after day? Imagine how different your future would look if you stopped waiting for the perfect moment and decided to act, even when it feels hard. This video is about the choices that separate the many who quit from the few who rise. And by the end, you will know exactly why most people won't, but you will. Let's begin your shift right now. Number 1, choose the harder path when others chase comfort daily. You know, when you look around, you see a pattern almost everywhere. Most people want an easier day. Most people want quick relief. Most people want to feel safe and avoid anything that pushes them past the edge of comfort. And I understand that because comfort feels good in the moment. Comfort gives a sense of calm for a short time. But comfort taken too far becomes a trap that slowly weakens a person. It takes away their hunger. It reduces their ambition. It removes their urgency. And the sad part is that many people choose it without even noticing they are doing it. They wake up, follow the same pattern, and say they will try harder tomorrow, but tomorrow looks exactly like today. The truth is simple. Growth is uncomfortable. Change feels strange. Progress asks for strength you may not feel you have yet. And this is exactly why most people avoid the harder path. It demands more energy. It demands self-control. It demands discipline when the mind wants ease. It demands actions that feel heavy at first. But this is where the difference between average and exceptional begins. This is where you separate your future from the future of the crowd. While most people hide from challenge, you learn to walk toward it. While most people choose the soft option, you choose the one that builds you. You see, the harder path is not something you choose once. It is something you choose again and again. You choose it when you wake up tired. You choose it when progress feels slow. You choose it when no one notices your effort. You choose it when your mind whispers that you deserve a break, and you know deep down that taking that break would delay what matters. And you choose it when life pushes back and your first instinct is to stop. That moment right there is when most people step away. They say it is too much. They say life is not fair. They say someone else has better luck. But you will not do that. Not because you are special by nature, but because you train yourself to act in a way that most people refuse to act. The harder path asks for honesty. Honesty about your habits. Honesty about your excuses. Honesty about your potential. When you stand in front of your own truth, you feel a sting. You feel a little pressure in your chest. You feel your heart beat faster because you know you could do more. And that feeling is not there to make you ashamed. It is there to wake you up. It is there to help you rise. People avoid that feeling. You use it to push forward. Most people chase comfort because comfort hides their weaknesses. When everything feels easy, they can pretend they are doing fine. But the harder path exposes what needs work. It makes you feel the weight of your own habits. It makes you face the parts of your life you avoid. And that is why it works. You cannot grow if you keep hiding from yourself. When you choose the harder path, you bring every weak point into the light. And once you see it, you can strengthen it. You can train it. You can improve it step by step. When you start choosing the harder path, your mind resists. You may feel tension in your body. You may feel your breath change. You may feel a pull to stop. That is the moment where progress begins. That is the moment that builds your character. Most people quit under that pressure, but you push through it. You know that discomfort is only temporary. You know that effort today creates strength tomorrow. You know that when you walk through a difficult moment, you walk out with a new level of control over your life. You do not choose the harder path because you enjoy struggle. You choose it because you want your future to be strong and stable. A person who always avoids difficulty will eventually break when life gives them something they cannot run from. A person who trains themselves on the harder path becomes calm, confident, and capable when life tests them. That is the reward, not applause, not quick results, not instant success. The reward is who you become. A stronger thinker, a disciplined doer, a person who can stand in the face of challenge without shaking. When others chase comfort daily, their life becomes predictable. Their days blend together. Their dreams stay untouched. Their abilities shrink over time. They feel restless, yet they avoid anything that could change their direction. You will not live that way. You will feel your own strength grow because you choose actions that stretch you. You will feel a deeper sense of pride because you follow through when you do not feel like it. You will feel a stronger sense of identity because you know you can handle what most people run from. Choosing the harder path is not about punishment. It is about claiming the life you want. It is about waking up and saying you will no longer be guided by your weaker impulses. It is about doing what must be done, even when emotions shift. It is about building habits that protect your future. It is about proving to yourself that you can rise above the patterns that keep others stuck. You do not need perfect focus. You do not need perfect energy. You do not need perfect confidence. You need one thing. You need willingness. Willingness to walk into the tasks that stretch you. Willingness to face the pressure and stay steady. Willingness to act even when you feel doubt. Willingness creates growth. Willingness creates discipline. Willingness separates you from the crowd. And let me tell you something important. The people who chase comfort today will envy your life later. They will wonder how you built strength. They will wonder how you made progress. They will wonder how you gained discipline. And the answer will be simple. You chose the harder path when they did not. You gave up the illusion of easy progress. You gave up the excuses that keep most people stuck. You gave up the habit of waiting for the right moment. And because of those choices, you earned the results they only dream about. Right now, you may feel a little fire in your chest. That is your potential waking up. That is your mind realizing you can do more than you have been doing. Hold on to that feeling. Use it. Turn it into action. Because the truth is clear. Most people will not push through discomfort. Most people will not change their habits. Most people will not choose effort over ease. But you will. You are ready to step into the version of yourself that demands more, gives more, and becomes more. And once you begin, you will never want to return to the life you had before. This is your moment to choose the harder path, and this choice will shape everything that comes next. Number 2, raise your standards when most people lower their expectations. Most people never rise because they quietly accept a level of life far below what they are capable of. But you are not here to live that way, and you can feel that truth inside you right now. There comes a point in every person's life where they must decide who they are going to be, and that decision begins with the standards they set. Standards shape the way you think, the way you act, the way you treat yourself, and the way you allow the world to treat you. When your standards rise, your entire life rises with them. When they fall, everything around you slowly follows. And this is the difference between people who grow and people who struggle year after year. Most people lower their expectations to avoid disappointment. But the moment you lower your expectations, you lower your identity. You convince your mind that you are not capable of more, and that belief controls everything that follows. Raising your standards is not about being perfect. It is about refusing to settle for anything that keeps you small. It is about deciding that the way you show up will not depend on how you feel in the moment. It is about refusing to follow the crowd when the crowd chooses an easy but empty path. When you raise your standards, you tell yourself the truth. You say you deserve more, you can give more, and you will demand more from yourself because you understand the cost of staying the same. You feel the weight of wasted potential in your chest. You feel the frustration that comes from knowing you have more inside you. And instead of running from that feeling, you use it to lift your life to a higher level. Most people settle for routines that numb their ambition. They settle for habits that bring quick pleasure but long-term regret. They settle for low effort because low effort feels safe. They settle for average because average is familiar. But once you raise your standards, you no longer tolerate the patterns that keep others stuck. You start paying attention to the small choices that shape your days. You watch your behavior with new eyes. You notice the moments where you used to give up early. You notice the times where you used to complain about situations you could change. And instead of slipping back into those old patterns, you take charge. You act with purpose. You choose behaviors that match the higher level you want to reach. Raising your standards changes the way you treat your goals. Instead of saying you will try, you say you will follow through. Instead of saying you will do your best, you say you will do what is required. Instead of saying you will start later, you say you will start now. Your words become stronger because your inner expectations rise. And with higher expectations, you build higher habits. You begin taking responsibility for your results without blaming the world or your past. You take ownership of the direction your life is going. And once you take ownership, you feel a new sense of control that most people never experience because they never hold themselves to a higher level. When you raise your standards, you also raise the standards of the people around you. Some will step up with you, some will fall away, and that is part of growth. Not everyone is ready to live with higher expectations. Some people become uncomfortable when someone around them begins to change. They want you to stay the same so they do not have to question their own choices. But you cannot live your life trying to make others comfortable. You must live according to the future you want, not the past others expect. When you raise your standards, you naturally outgrow environments that no longer support your growth. You feel less attracted to distractions that used to pull your attention. You feel less interested in excuses that used to sound reasonable. Your mind becomes clearer because your direction is clearer. Raising your standards builds confidence in a way nothing else can. Confidence does not come from praise or approval. It comes from knowing you follow through on what you expect from yourself. Every time you choose discipline over ease, your belief in yourself grows. Every time you complete something you once avoided, your strength expands. Every time you reject a low standard, you send a powerful message to yourself that you are capable of more. Most people search for confidence through shortcuts, but they never find it because they lower their standards every time things get difficult. Confidence comes from the opposite. It comes from raising your expectations, even when life feels heavy. When you choose higher standards, your life becomes more meaningful. You start to feel a deeper sense of purpose because you are no longer drifting through your days. You are building something. You are shaping yourself into someone you respect. You are making decisions that match the life you want instead of the life you want to escape. You notice your energy changing. You feel more alive. You start waking up with a sense of direction because you know you are moving towards something that matters. You feel the difference between a day lived with intention and a day lived on autopilot. Most people tell themselves they will raise their standards later. They say they will start when life settles down. They say they will change when they feel more ready. But life never gives them that moment, and they stay stuck in the same cycle. You avoid that trap by acting now. You raise your standards today, not someday. You take one step today that proves to yourself that you are serious. And once you do that, the next step becomes easier. You build momentum through consistent action, and momentum is what transforms your life. Raising your standards also changes the way you see challenges. Instead of feeling defeated when something goes wrong, you ask how you can improve. Instead of saying life is unfair, you ask where you can grow. Instead of breaking down under pressure, you steady yourself and move forward. Higher standards make you stronger because you expect yourself to handle life with courage instead of fear. You start looking at problems as tasks instead of threats. You stay calm in situations that used to overwhelm you. And you no longer shrink when the world becomes difficult because your inner expectations are solid. When most people lower their expectations, they lower their energy and passion. Their life becomes a cycle of settling for less and convincing themselves that less is enough. But you rise above that cycle by raising your standards higher than your moods, higher than your excuses, and higher than your fears. You stop chasing temporary relief and start pursuing lasting growth. You stop allowing yourself to drift and start leading yourself forward. You become more stable because you know what you expect from yourself and you refuse to drop below it. This is the path of a strong mind. This is the path of a serious life. And this is why you will rise when most people fall behind. You choose to raise your standards when they lower theirs. You choose discipline when they choose convenience. You choose growth when they choose comfort. And because of that, your life will shift in ways they will never understand until they decide to raise their own standards. Your life begins to change the moment your standards rise. Everything after that is simply proof of the person you decided to become. Number 3, take responsibility for your life when others avoid effort. Most people wait for life to improve on its own, but your life turns around the moment you decide to take full responsibility for it. There is a shift that happens inside you when you stop blaming circumstances and start building your own direction. You feel a new strength rise in your chest because you finally accept that your actions, not your excuses, will shape your future. Most people avoid effort because effort exposes their true intentions. Effort forces them to face the gap between who they are and who they say they want to be. But you are not here to avoid that gap. You are here to close it. And you do that by taking responsibility for every step you take from this point forward. When you accept responsibility, you stop waiting for luck. You stop waiting for motivation to appear. You stop expecting someone else to come and fix your life. You take ownership of the choices that brought you here and the choices that will take you further. This kind of responsibility feels heavy at first because it demands honesty. It demands you acknowledge the moments you could have tried harder. It demands you admit when you let fear decide for you. It demands you recognize where you held back. But once you stand in that honesty, you feel something powerful. You feel control. And that feeling is the beginning of real change. Most people run from responsibility because it feels easier to blame the world. They say the economy is the problem. They say their past is the problem. They say other people are the problem. And the more they point outward, the weaker they become inward. They hand away their power without noticing. They stop believing their choices matter. They settle for a life they do not want because accepting the truth would require effort. But you are not going to fall into that pattern. You are choosing a different path. A path where your response to life carries more weight than the situation itself. When you take responsibility, you stop treating your goals like distant dreams. You treat them like commitments. You wake up with a clearer purpose because you know you are the one steering your life. You take action even when you feel tired because you understand that consistency matters more than mood. You handle your challenges with a steady mind because you know complaining will never move you forward. Responsibility builds character. It builds stability. It builds strength that stays with you for the rest of your life. Taking responsibility also changes the way you handle failure. When others fail, they search for someone to blame. They look for an outside reason that explains why things did not work. They cling to excuses because excuses protect their ego. But when you fail, you look inward. You ask what you can learn. You ask what you can improve. You ask how you can adjust and move forward. This mindset makes you unstoppable because failure no longer frightens you. It becomes a tool. It becomes information. It becomes one more step toward your growth. Responsibility also sharpens your awareness. You begin to notice habits that once slipped by unnoticed. You realize how quickly a day can be wasted. You see how distractions steal your time. You recognize how often you used to rush through tasks without giving your best. And instead of accepting these habits as part of your life, you confront them. You replace them with choices that reflect the life you want to build. You start using your time with intention. You begin lifting your behavior to match your goals. This is the kind of discipline most people avoid because it requires effort and attention. But this is the discipline that moves your life forward. When you take responsibility for your life, you also change the way you react to discomfort. Most people run from anything that feels difficult because difficulty demands effort. It demands patience. It demands self-control. But you learn to face it. You feel the tension in your body, the pressure in your mind, and you stay steady. Instead of quitting, you push through. Instead of stopping, you adjust your pace. Instead of backing down, you find a way. This builds a level of resilience that most people never experience because they never give themselves the chance to develop it. Responsibility brings clarity. You stop confusing busyness with progress. You stop giving your time to things that drain you. You stop saying yes to tasks that take you away from your goals. You make decisions that match your values. You draw boundaries that protect your focus. You surround yourself with people who encourage growth instead of people who feed your excuses. This is what responsibility looks like in everyday life. Small choices that add up to a strong and stable direction. Most people avoid effort because effort requires them to face their own potential. And potential can be frightening. When you know you can do better, you cannot hide behind the story that you are stuck. You cannot disguise laziness as bad luck. You cannot pretend that life is holding you back. Taking responsibility removes every excuse you once relied on. It leaves you face to face with your own power. And even though that kind of power can feel uncomfortable, it is the key to every breakthrough you have been waiting for. Responsibility also changes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of your environment. You start seeing yourself as the leader of your life. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You create them. You stop hoping the world will give you a chance. You build your own opportunities. This shift in identity is what separates people who grow from people who stay stuck. Responsibility gives you the courage to guide your own path, even when others choose the easier route. Taking responsibility for your life also builds respect. Respect from others comes later. Respect for yourself comes first. When you follow through on your commitments, you feel proud of yourself. When you face challenges without complaining, you feel stronger. When you push through moments where you would have quit before, you feel more capable. This quiet pride becomes fuel. It becomes the energy you need when the journey gets tough. And here is the truth you need to hear. Most people will spend their entire life avoiding effort. They will avoid hard choices. They will avoid uncomfortable truths. They will avoid taking charge of their own actions. They will live with the same patterns year after year because it feels easier than taking responsibility. But you are choosing something different. You are choosing ownership. You are choosing discipline. You are choosing growth even when growth requires effort. Your life will rise the moment you take responsibility. Your confidence will rise. Your opportunities will rise. Your energy will rise. Your sense of purpose will rise. And the world will respond to the standard you set for yourself. Most people will continue avoiding effort, but you will step forward. You will act with intention. You will carry responsibility with strength. And because of that, your life will go places most people will never reach simply because they never took responsibility for where they stood. This is your moment to claim your life. This is your moment to choose effort over excuses. This is your moment to take full responsibility and transform everything that follows. Number 4, show up every day even when you feel tired. Most people wait for the perfect burst of energy to begin, but real progress belongs to the ones who show up even on the days when their body feels heavy and their mind wants rest. There is a strength inside you that only appears when you move forward while feeling tired, and that strength is what separates a life of excuses from a life of achievement. Tired days are the days that test your commitment. Tired days are the days that reveal whether you truly want the life you say you want or whether you only want it when everything feels easy. When you keep going through that tired feeling, you build a level of inner power that most people never experience because they step back the moment discomfort appears. Showing up every day is not about perfection. It is about honoring your direction even when your mood does not match your mission. You know exactly how it feels to wake up with low energy. Your breathing feels heavier. Your shoulders feel tighter. Your thoughts run slower. Your motivation is faint. And in that moment, your mind whispers reasons to delay. It tells you to rest a little longer. It tells you that today does not matter. It tells you that tomorrow will be better. But this is where greatness is built. Not in the easy days when everything flows, but in the tired days when you choose effort over excuses. When you show up tired, you teach yourself discipline. Discipline is not created during comfort. Discipline is created when you act without the enthusiasm you hoped for. Every time you push through that tired feeling, you strengthen your belief in yourself. You prove that your commitment is real. You prove that you can keep going even when your energy dips. And that proof becomes confidence. Confidence does not come from big wins. It comes from small decisions repeated again and again. It comes from showing up when quitting sounds tempting. Most people let tired days destroy their consistency. They push themselves for a short time and then disappear for a week. They fall into cycles of starting and stopping because they rely on motivation instead of discipline. They treat tiredness like a full stop instead of a moment to test their strength. When you do the opposite, you build a stable life. Stability comes from consistency, and consistency comes from showing up even when everything inside you asks for rest. This is how you build habits that last. This is how you build a life that stands strong. Showing up every day also changes your emotional strength. You start understanding that tiredness is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are alive and working towards something meaningful. You learn to separate feelings from actions. You learn that you can feel tired and still move forward. You can feel overwhelmed and still take a step. You can feel drained and still perform. This emotional separation is one of the strongest skills you can ever develop, because life will not always give you the perfect state of mind. But you learn to act anyway. When you show up on tired days, you also gain something most people never get: momentum. Momentum is built piece by piece. It grows with every action you take. Even a small effort counts. Even a few minutes of disciplined work push you forward. When you keep your streak alive, you protect your progress. And the more days you show up, the easier it becomes to tend it. Stay committed. Momentum reduces resistance. It lifts your spirit. It makes you feel capable. Missing days kills momentum, and most people never recover because they stop too often. You move ahead because you keep your momentum alive. Think about how your body feels on a day when you really do not want to do anything. Your legs feel heavy. Your arms feel slower. Your mind feels foggy. But when you push through that feeling and complete your task, you feel a wave of pride that cannot be faked. You feel your chest lighten. You feel your breathing change. You feel your confidence rise because you did not let tiredness win. That tiny internal victory builds your identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through, someone who does not break easily, someone who shows up no matter what. Showing up every day also teaches you responsibility. A responsible person does what needs to be done, not what feels convenient. A responsible person understands that tiredness does not remove the importance of a goal. It does not erase the value of a commitment. It does not lessen the impact of daily effort. When others choose rest, you choose action, not because you are stronger, but because you understand the cost of inconsistency. You know that one skipped day becomes two, and two becomes a week. You refuse to step into that cycle because you know where it leads. When you show up tired, you learn to manage your energy better. You start organizing your time with more care. You stop wasting hours on distractions because you know every minute matters. You become more intentional with your habits. You sleep better. You eat better. You think clearly. You notice how your energy changes throughout the day. You learn to protect your focus. This level of awareness grows naturally because you have trained yourself to show up even when you are not operating at your best. You also develop resilience. Resilience is not built through comfort. It is built through repetition, through showing up when you are tired, through staying the course when life pushes back, through refusing to let fatigue control your entire day. When challenges come, you do not panic. You do not break. You do not quit. You stand firm because you trained yourself to do so. People who only work when they feel good fall apart easily. You become the opposite. You become steady, reliable, and strong. Most people will never push themselves on tired days. They quit early. They give up quickly. They lower their goals because sticking to them feels difficult. They let one tired day turn into a pattern. But you rise above this. You show up because you want to build a life you can be proud of. You show up because your future depends on your consistency. You show up because you refuse to let your feelings dictate your actions. You show up because you understand that tiredness passes but regret stays for years. Your dreams deserve your effort even on the tired days. Your growth depends on consistency more than excitement. Your success is built from actions you take when your energy is low. The days where you feel tired are the days that shape you the most. Those are the days that define your character. Those are the days that build your strength. Those are the days that give you the kind of confidence that cannot be taken away. So you keep showing up, not for perfection, not for applause, not for anyone else's approval. You keep showing up because this is who you are now. A person who honors their commitments, a person who pushes through fatigue, a person who chooses progress over excuses, a person who understands that tired or not, the world responds to daily action. Most people will stop when they feel tired, but you will rise. You will move forward. You will act. And because of that, your life will grow in ways they will never experience. This is how you build a life worth living, one tired day at a time, with steady, relentless effort and a commitment that never breaks. Number 5, keep your promises to yourself when others break theirs. Most people walk away from their own word the moment it becomes inconvenient. But your entire life changes when you decide that the promises you make to yourself are non-negotiable. There is a different kind of power inside a person who treats their own word like a contract. You feel it in your chest. You feel it in the way you breathe. You feel it in the way you walk into a room with quiet confidence because you know you follow through on what you say. Keeping your promises to yourself builds a foundation that no one can shake because your strength no longer depends on motivation or approval. It depends on your own commitment, and that is something only you can control. When you make a promise to yourself, you are setting a standard. You are defining who you are and who you are becoming. The promise can be small. It can be about waking up at a certain time, completing a task, improving a habit, or cutting out something that drains your energy. The size does not matter. What matters is your decision to treat that promise with seriousness. Most people make promises casually. They say they will start tomorrow. They say they will stay consistent. They say they will change. But their actions fade quickly. They break their word because it feels easier in the moment. They forget that every broken promise weakens self-trust. When you keep your promises to yourself, you build trust with the most important person in your life, you. And self-trust is the engine behind confidence, courage, and discipline. When you say you will do something and you actually do it, your mind learns to rely on you. You stop doubting your decisions. You stop questioning your ability to follow through. You stop wondering if you can change your life. You start knowing that you can. This knowing becomes a quiet strength that stays with you even in difficult times. Keeping your promises also shapes your identity. Identity is not shaped by what you hope to do. It is shaped by what you repeatedly do. If you promise yourself you will improve your health and you actually take action every day, you become someone who values your well-being. If you promise yourself you will study, practice, or build a skill, and you show up for it consistently, you become someone serious about growth. If you promise yourself you will protect your peace and you follow through, you become someone who respects your own mind. Every kept promise deepens your identity. Every broken promise weakens it. Most people break their promises to themselves because there is no immediate consequence. No one calls them out. No one reminds them. No one holds them accountable. And because nothing happens on the outside, they think nothing is happening on the inside. But something is happening. Every broken promise makes them feel a little less confident, a little more discouraged, a little more hesitant when trying something new. They feel frustration building, but they do not realize where it comes from. It comes from letting themselves down again and again. When you choose to keep your promises to yourself, you refuse to let that cycle control your life. You choose consistency over comfort. You choose integrity over excuses. You choose long-term strength over short-term relief. You understand that honoring your word creates inner stability. You wake up with clearer direction. You move with more purpose. You feel more grounded because you know your actions match your intentions. Keeping your promises also changes the way you handle challenges. When setbacks appear, most people lose focus. They break the promises they made because their emotions shift. They say they are too tired, too stressed, too busy, too overwhelmed. But when you keep your promises, no matter how you feel, you become emotionally stronger. You learn to separate your actions from your moods. You learn that your commitment does not disappear just because the day feels difficult. This emotional strength is what builds a resilient life. When you keep your promises to yourself, your life becomes more meaningful. You begin to respect your own time. You begin to respect your own effort. You stop giving energy to things that do not align with your goals. You start choosing activities that lift you instead of drain you. You start paying attention to the thoughts you allow, the habits you build, and the people you spend time with. You live with intention instead of drifting through your days. You also begin to notice the effect of each promise you keep. Your mind becomes clearer, your confidence grows, your energy becomes steady. You feel proud of yourself in a quiet, honest way. Not loud confidence, real confidence. The kind that comes from inner alignment. The kind that does not need approval. The kind that cannot be taken away because it is built from your own actions. Most people do not understand how important these personal promises are. They think only external commitments matter. They work hard for their job. They keep their promises to friends or family, but they neglect the promises they make to themselves. And because of that, they slowly lose their sense of direction. You avoid that outcome by reversing the pattern. You give your own word the highest value. You treat yourself with the respect you give others. You demand honesty from yourself even when no one is watching. Keeping your promises also builds discipline naturally. Discipline is not forcing yourself every day. Discipline is the result of self-trust. When you trust yourself to follow through, you do not waste energy debating whether you should act. You simply act. You do what you said you would do. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop postponing your growth. You create a clear path forward because you no longer break your own agreements. You also protect your self-image by honoring your word. When you break your own promises, you start seeing yourself as unreliable. You begin to think you cannot finish what you begin. You carry a sense of failure even when no one else sees it. But when you keep your promises, your self-image strengthens. You see yourself as capable, You see yourself as consistent. You see yourself as someone who can rely on their own decisions. This creates a deep sense of pride that goes far beyond achievement. It becomes part of who you are. Most people break their promises because they follow their feelings instead of their goals. They want comfort. They want ease. They want relief from effort. But comfort without discipline leads to regret. Ease without consistency leads to empty years. Relief without responsibility leads to a life that never reaches its potential. You avoid that by choosing commitment over impulse. You keep your promises even on the days when your feelings try to pull you away. And here's what happens over time. Your life begins to rise. People notice your consistency. Opportunities appear because your commitment is visible. Your results grow because your actions are stable. Your confidence expands because you trust yourself. While others struggle with inconsistency, you keep moving forward. While others collapse under their own excuses, you remain steady. While others break their promises, you keep yours. And that difference is what builds a powerful life. Your promises to yourself are not small. They are sacred. They are the foundation of your future. And when you honor them, you build a life that reflects your potential instead of your doubts. Most people will continue breaking their promises without realizing the cost. But you are choosing a different path. You are choosing commitment. You are choosing integrity. You are choosing growth. This is how you rise above the crowd. This is how you build a life you respect. This is how you become the person you were meant to be by keeping your promises to yourself even when others break theirs. Number 6, train your mind to stay focused when others drift away. Most people lose their way because their mind jumps from one thing to another. But your life transforms the moment you train your mind to stay focused, no matter how many distractions pull at you. Focus is not something you are born with. It is something you build. You shape it through daily practice, through self-control, through intention, and through the decision to hold your attention steady even when the world tries to pull it in every direction. When you learn to control your focus, you gain control over your future, because nothing grows in a life where attention is scattered and discipline is weak. You know how easy it is to drift. Your phone buzzes. A thought pops into your mind. Someone calls you. A small task steals your energy. Before you know it, an entire hour is gone. Then another, and another. Most people live this way every day. They move from one distraction to the next without noticing how much time they lose. They convince themselves they are busy, but busy is not the same as productive. Busy is chaos. Productivity is intention, and intention only exists when your mind is trained to stay focused. Training your mind begins with awareness. You start noticing the exact moment your attention slips. You feel your thoughts wandering. You sense restlessness in your body. You feel your breathing change. Instead of letting your mind drift, you bring it back. This simple act builds mental strength. It teaches your mind that you are in charge. You decide where your attention goes. You decide what matters. You decide what gets your time. Most people never develop this skill because it feels uncomfortable at first. The mind resists discipline. It wants the quick reward of distraction, but you train it to stay steady. Focus feels like a quiet space inside your mind. It feels like clarity. It feels like stepping into a moment where everything slows down and your purpose becomes sharp. You are not scattered. You are not jumping between tasks. You are not fighting your own thoughts. You are working with intention. This kind of clarity comes from practice. It comes from choosing one task and staying with it until it is done. It comes from removing the distractions you can control. It comes from giving yourself permission to concentrate deeply without guilt. Most people drift away because they allow their environment to control their mind. They let noise decide their attention. They let random tasks shape their day. They let other people's urgency ruin their own priorities. You rise above this by building discipline. You learn to create space around your important work. You silence the unnecessary noise. You set clear boundaries. You treat your focus like something valuable because it is. Training your mind also means learning to sit with discomfort. When you focus deeply, your brain gets tired. Your body becomes restless. Your thoughts wander, but you stay with the task anyway. That moment is the training. That is where your mental muscles grow. Most people escape discomfort immediately. They reach for their phone. They switch tasks. They get distracted. They avoid the slight pressure in their mind. But you stay steady. You push through the mental resistance. You teach your mind that staying focused is the new normal. With focus comes discipline, and with discipline comes results. When you train your mind to stay focused, you become more productive in 1 hour than most people are in an entire day. You finish what you start. You follow through on your goals. You make steady progress instead of chaotic effort. You feel more control over your time. You feel more grounded in your daily life. You notice that your stress levels drop because you no longer chase 20 things at once. Focus simplifies your world. It gives you direction. It gives you peace. Training your mind also strengthens your emotional control. When you stay focused, you stop reacting to every small disturbance. You stop allowing interruptions to dictate your mood. You stay calm because you know exactly what you are working toward. Most people collapse under pressure because their mind is scattered. They try to balance too many things at once. They allow small problems to steal their entire day. But with focus, you remain steady even when life feels heavy. You know how to return to your goal. You know how to bring your attention back to what matters. Focus also builds confidence. When you complete tasks consistently, you begin to trust yourself more. You start believing in your ability to make progress. You see evidence of your own discipline. You feel capable because your actions reflect your goals. Confidence does not come from wishes. It comes from results. And results come from focus. Once you build this trust with yourself, you no longer fear big goals. You no longer feel overwhelmed by challenges. You know you can handle them because your mind is trained to stay steady. Training your mind to stay focused also protects your future. When others drift through life, losing years to distraction, you move toward growth. You learn skills more quickly. You build habits that carry you forward. You create opportunities through consistent effort. You shape your path instead of waiting for luck. A focused mind becomes a powerful tool in every area of your life. You think more clearly. You make better decisions. You understand what deserves your time and what does not. Most people drift because drifting is easy. It requires nothing. It asks for no discipline. It demands no attention. It feels soft and comfortable. But it destroys potential. It takes promising lives and turns them into stories filled with what if. You refuse to live that way. You choose to build the kind of mind that works with you, not against you. You choose to remain focused even when others lose direction. You choose consistent effort over mental laziness. You choose progress over distraction. The truth is simple. Your mind can become your greatest ally or your greatest obstacle. If you train it, it becomes sharp, steady, and reliable. If you leave it unmanaged, it becomes scattered and weak. The training is not complicated. It requires daily practice, small moments of attention, a willingness to bring your focus back every time it slips, patience with yourself as you grow stronger, and a commitment to your goals that does not break when the world tries to distract you. You are not drifting. You are rising. You are building a disciplined, focused mind that will carry you further than talent alone ever could. While others waste years on distractions, you move forward with clear direction. While others lose themselves in noise, you grow stronger in silence. While others drift away, you stay centered, determined, and committed. This is how you separate your future from the crowd. This is how you build a life of purpose. This is how you rise above the noise by training your mind to stay focused when others drift away. Number 7, do the work no one sees when others look for praise. Most people want the spotlight without earning the strength that comes from working in silence. But your life will transform the moment you choose to do the work no one sees while others chase praise. There is a rare power in a person who can push forward without applause, without recognition, without validation. You feel that strength inside you every time you stay committed when the world is quiet. You feel it when you keep building even though no one is watching. That kind of discipline creates results that speak louder than any compliment ever could. The truth is simple. The work done in private is what shapes your public success. Most people want visible progress. They want someone to say they are doing well. They want approval to stay motivated. But you learn to work from a deeper place. You push yourself because you want growth, not attention. You improve because you want mastery, not praise. You stay late, you start early. You keep going when the excitement fades, and you do it because you know progress takes patience and effort long before it takes recognition. Working in silence feels uncomfortable at first. You may feel alone. You may feel unseen. You may feel the weight of slow progress. But that is where your character forms. You develop patience while others rush. You develop attention to detail while others cut corners. You gain skill while others chase shortcuts. You build discipline while others wait for motivation. This phase is where real success is born. But most people never stay long enough to reach the other side. When you do the work no one sees, you learn to rely on yourself. You are not driven by applause. You are driven by purpose. You stop checking whether anyone is noticing. You stop seeking approval. You stop expecting immediate results. You understand that consistency is slow, but it is powerful. Every day you show up, your skills sharpen, your mindset strengthens, your habits improve. And even though no one else can see it happening, you can feel it inside you. There is something honest about silent effort. It forces you to confront your weaknesses without hiding them. When no one is watching, there is no performance. There is only truth. You see where you hesitate. You see where you waste time. You see where you need improvement. This honesty helps you grow faster than someone who relies on praise, because praise hides weaknesses. Praise creates comfort. Praise can slow a person down. But quiet work keeps you hungry. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you focused on the mission, not the attention. Most people do not want this phase. They want instant results. They want applause before the effort. They want recognition without mastery. But the world does not work that way. You earn respect by doing the work others avoid. You earn confidence by practicing when no one else is paying attention. You earn growth by showing up in the moments that feel boring, repetitive, or unnoticed. That is where you rise while others stall. Doing the work no one sees also builds emotional strength. It teaches you to enjoy the grind instead of the applause. It teaches you to stay driven without needing an audience. You learn to validate yourself through your consistency, not through someone else's opinion. When you reach that level of emotional independence, you become unstoppable. No criticism shakes you. No lack of support slows you down. No distraction pulls you off course. You move with a quiet power because you know exactly what you're building. You also begin to notice how people behave around you. Many talk about ambition. Many talk about goals. Many talk about change. But few actually follow through. Few stay committed when the room is empty. Few keep going when progress is slow. Most people wait for a push. You create your own push. Most people stop when they feel unnoticed. You keep going because your vision matters more than attention. Most people need encouragement to begin. You need integrity to stay consistent. The work no one sees builds habits that last. When you train alone, your discipline becomes real. When you study alone, your knowledge becomes deep. When you practice alone, your skill becomes sharp. When you improve alone, your identity becomes stronger. You carry that work with you into every area of your life. It shows in your confidence. It shows in your results. It shows in the way you handle pressure. It shows in the way you step into challenges without hesitation. There will be days when you feel invisible. Days when you feel like the effort is not paying off. Days when you question whether the progress is moving fast enough. These moments are not signs to stop. They are signs that you are on the right path. If the path were easy, everyone would walk it. But only a small group of people choose to work when no one is watching. Only a small group choose long-term growth over short-term praise. Only a small group understand that real success grows quietly until suddenly it becomes impossible to ignore. Doing the work no one sees also results in something powerful: self-respect. You begin to look at yourself differently. You stand taller. You speak with more conviction. You trust yourself more. Because you know the truth about your effort. You know how hard you've worked. You know how much you've improved. You know how consistent you've been. That private effort becomes the foundation of your public strength. Most people want attention. You want mastery. Most people want applause. You want progress. Most people want to be seen. You want to grow. That difference will shape the direction of your entire life. When the results finally appear, and they will come, with a level of stability that praise alone could never give you. Because your success will not be based on hype. It will be based on work. Real work. Quiet work. Daily work. And the best part is this: while others chase attention and burn out quickly, your silent effort creates momentum that lasts for years. You become reliable. You become disciplined. You become capable of things most people never reach simply because they stopped working the moment recognition faded. You rise because your motivation comes from within, not from applause. This is how you build a life worth living. You do the work that others avoid. You improve when no one is watching. You grow in silence. You sharpen your skills in private. You chase excellence instead of attention. And when the time comes, the world will see the results of your effort, but you will know that the real success was built long before anyone noticed. Most people look for praise. You look for progress. Most people perform for others. You perform for your future. Most people wait to be seen. You rise in silence. And because of that, your life will stand on a foundation that cannot be shaken. This is how you win, by doing the work no one sees while others look for praise. Number 8. Protect your time fiercely when others waste theirs. Most people treat time like it will always be there, but your entire life changes the moment you start protecting your time with strength and intention, while others waste theirs without thinking. Time is the one resource you can never earn back. You can rebuild money, chances, relationships, opportunities, but you cannot rebuild a lost hour. You cannot retrieve a wasted day. You cannot reclaim a year spent drifting. And when you finally realize that, you begin to treat your time with the seriousness it deserves. You stop letting the world pull you in every direction. You stop giving your hours away to people or habits that drain you. You start guarding your time the same way you guard your future, because they are the same thing. You know how it feels when you waste time. There's a heaviness in your chest, a quiet frustration at the end of the day, a sense that you could have done more, a feeling that something important slipped away, and most people ignore that feeling. They pretend it does not matter. They pretend they have unlimited time to correct themselves. But you are choosing something different. You are choosing awareness. You are choosing control. You are choosing to value each moment because you understand that every hour you protect becomes an investment in the life you want. Protecting your time fiercely begins with clarity. You must know what matters to you. You must know what moves your life forward and what pulls you backward. When you know your priorities, you can guard your hours with confidence. You stop saying yes to everything. You stop letting people's urgency replace your own goals. You become intentional about where your time goes. This clarity gives you power. It gives you direction. It gives you control over your days instead of feeling like your days control you. Most people waste time because they do not pay attention to where it goes. They get lost in meaningless routines. They scroll endlessly. They get stuck in long conversations that lead nowhere. They procrastinate because they feel overwhelmed. They rush from task to task without thinking. They allow distractions to steal hours from their dreams. And because these moments feel small, they do not notice how much time slips away. Eventually, they look back and wonder where the months went. But you choose to stay awake. You choose to take your time seriously while others let theirs drift away. Protecting your time also means protecting your environment. You cannot stay focused when you are surrounded by noise, chaos, or people who disrespect your schedule. You begin to set boundaries. You let others know when you are unavailable. You create space for your work. You limit interruptions. You organize your surroundings so your mind feels calm instead of scattered. Boundaries are not rude. Boundaries are a sign that your goals matter. They are a sign that your future matters. They are a sign that you are no longer giving your time away freely. When you protect your time, you also learn to manage your energy. Some tasks drain you. Some tasks lift you. Some people drain you. Some people inspire you. You start noticing these patterns. You begin using your high-energy hours for your most important work. You stop wasting your best time on low-value tasks. You learn to schedule breaks instead of collapsing from exhaustion. You plan your days with purpose instead of reacting to whatever appears. This is what separates a productive life from a chaotic one. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is the ability to protect your time and use it wisely. Protecting your time fiercely also means letting go of guilt. Many people feel guilty for saying no. They feel guilty for choosing their goals over someone else's expectations. They feel guilty for wanting space. But you begin to understand something powerful. Every yes you give someone else is a no you give to your own dreams. You cannot build a meaningful life while feeling guilty for protecting your time. You learn to stand firm in your decisions. You learn to choose your goals without apologizing for wanting more. Most people never protect their time because they fear being judged. They fear disappointing others. They fear missing out on something unimportant, but you rise above that fear. You know that the people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. And the people who get angry when you protect your time are usually the ones who benefited from your lack of boundaries in the first place. You choose your future over their expectations. You choose progress over approval. When you guard your time, your productivity increases naturally. You begin completing tasks more quickly because your mind is not scattered. You start making real progress because your hours are aligned with your goals instead of wasted on distractions. You feel more accomplished at the end of the day. You feel more in control of your direction. This sense of accomplishment builds momentum, and momentum is what creates long-term success. Protecting your time also brings peace. When your days are intentional, your mind becomes calmer. You stress less because you are not constantly rushing. You stop feeling overwhelmed because you know exactly what needs to be done. You stop feeling behind because you manage your time instead of letting it escape. Peace does not come from doing less. It comes from doing what matters. Peace comes from alignment. Peace comes from clarity. You also begin to notice the difference between people who respect time and people who waste it. People who respect time show up on time. They honor commitments. They keep conversations meaningful. They plan ahead. They support your focus. People who waste time talk endlessly without purpose. They bring chaos into your schedule. They interrupt your work. They distract you from your goals. When you protect your time fiercely, you begin choosing your circle more carefully. You surround yourself with people who value growth. This shift alone can change your entire life. Most people will spend years giving their time away without thinking. They will waste hours on distractions, comfort, and unimportant tasks. They will wake up one day wondering why their life has not moved forward, but you will not live that way. You will rise because you understand the value of time. You understand that every hour builds your future. You understand that wasted time is wasted potential. You understand that your time is your life. Every time you protect your time, you strengthen your future. Every time you say no to a distraction, you say yes to your goals. Every time you choose to focus, you grow. Every time you guard your hours, you move closer to the life you want. This is how you rise above the crowd. This is how you build a disciplined, meaningful life. This is how you stay ahead while others fall behind, not by being smarter or more talented, but by protecting your time fiercely when others waste theirs. Number 9, push through discomfort when others stop at the first challenge. Most people back away the moment life pushes against them, but you become unstoppable the moment you decide to push through discomfort instead of running from it. Discomfort is the doorway to every level of growth you want, and once you understand that, you stop seeing it as something to avoid. You start seeing it as something to move through. You feel a different kind of strength inside you when you face the moments that make others quit. You feel your heart beat faster. You feel pressure in your chest. You feel your mind try to pull you back, but you move forward anyway. That decision right there separates your future from the future of the crowd. Discomfort shows up in many forms. It can be fear. It can be doubt. It can be confusion. It can be fatigue. It can be uncertainty. Most people take these feelings as signals to stop. They convince themselves they are not ready or not good enough or not strong enough. They mistake discomfort for danger. They mistake difficulty for impossibility. They give up before they ever see what they could have become. You are choosing a different path. You see discomfort for what it is, a sign that you are stepping into higher ground. A sign that you're stretching the limits of who you used to be. A sign that growth is happening even if it feels unpleasant in the moment. When you push through discomfort, you begin to understand your true capacity. You realize you can handle far more than you thought. You realize your limits were not real, they were mental walls created by old habits. You break those walls by staying in the challenge longer than you normally would. That extra minute of effort, that extra hour of work, that extra day of commitment creates a stronger version of you. You feel it in your body. You feel it in your mindset. You feel it in your confidence. And once you've expanded your limits, they never shrink back to their old size. The truth is, discomfort is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Avoiding discomfort leads to a smaller life. It leads to hesitation. It leads to regret. It leads to a future filled with missed chances. When you avoid every uncomfortable moment, you avoid your own potential. You avoid the lessons that make you stronger. You avoid the experiences that build character. But when you face discomfort head-on, you create breakthroughs that people around you cannot understand because they never stayed long enough to experience them. Most people stop at the first sign of resistance. They start a new habit and quit when it feels hard. They begin a project and give up when progress slows. They try to change their life but fall back into old patterns as soon as discomfort appears. They expect the path to feel smooth. They expect motivation to carry them. They expect ease to follow them. But nothing meaningful grows in ease. Growth requires struggle. Growth requires pressure. Growth requires discomfort. You learn to stay calm in these difficult moments. You take a deep breath. You ground yourself. You feel the discomfort, but you do not run from it. You remind yourself that discomfort is temporary, but the results of pushing through it last a lifetime. You understand that every time you stay with the challenge, your mind becomes stronger, your willpower becomes sharper, your discipline becomes deeper. These qualities cannot be built in comfort. They require heat, they require strain, they require moments when you want to stop but choose not to. Pushing through discomfort does something powerful to your identity. It changes the way you see yourself. You begin to see yourself as someone who can handle pressure, someone who does not quit, someone who is reliable even under stress, someone who finishes what they start. This identity becomes your shield. It protects you from fear. It protects you from doubt. It protects you from other people's limitations. When you believe in your ability to push through discomfort, no challenge feels impossible anymore. Discomfort also sharpens your clarity. When the pressure rises, you become more alert. You start paying attention to what really matters. You let go of distractions. You simplify your thoughts. You become present. Most people fall apart under pressure because their mind scatters. They get overwhelmed by fear or stress. But you develop the ability to stay steady even when things feel heavy. You train yourself to focus on solutions instead of emotions. This skill alone sets you apart from the majority. Pushing through discomfort also builds resilience. Resilience is not created in peaceful moments. It is created in moments when your mind screams for relief, but you choose persistence. Resilience is the quiet strength that grows when you refuse to break. It is the courage to stand tall when life tests you. It is the calm attitude you develop when you realize you can survive discomfort. And once you become resilient, life no longer intimidates you. Challenges become tasks instead of threats. Setbacks become lessons instead of disasters. Most people avoid discomfort because they want certainty. They want guarantees. They want predictable outcomes. But nothing great comes from the predictable. Nothing great comes with certainty. Nothing great comes without risk. You rise because you are willing to move forward without perfect clarity. You are willing to take steps even when the path is not smooth. You are willing to try even when success is not guaranteed. This willingness is rare, and it is the reason you will reach heights most people never experience. Every time you push through discomfort, you become stronger mentally. You become stronger emotionally. You become stronger physically. You develop patience. You develop endurance. You develop self-respect because you know you earned your progress. You earned your growth. You earned your results. No shortcuts. No excuses. No relying on easy days. You built strength through effort. There will be moments when you feel like stopping. Moments when progress feels slow. Moments when challenges feel too heavy. These are the exact moments that decide your future. If you stop, you fall back to where you began. If you push through, you rise to a level you've never reached. Most people choose the first option. You choose the second. Discomfort is not here to break you. It is here to shape you, to sharpen you, to refine you, to pull out the strongest parts of you. When you push through discomfort while others stop at the first challenge, you step into a life that belongs to the few, not the many. You step into growth. You step into discipline. You step into strength. You are not here to quit at the first sign of difficulty. You are here to rise through challenge. You are here to push when others pause. You are here to grow while others retreat. This is how you become the person you were meant to be by pushing through discomfort, even when the world stops at the first challenge. Number 10. Build discipline daily when others rely on temporary motivation. Most people wait for motivation to strike like lightning, but you rise above the crowd the moment you decide to build discipline day by day, even when your feelings shift and your energy dips. Motivation comes and goes. It is loud one day, and silent the next. It lifts you up in the morning and disappears by the afternoon. If you depend on motivation, your progress will always rise and fall. But when you build discipline, your progress becomes steady, controlled, and predictable. You no longer rely on emotion. You rely on commitment. You rely on structure. You rely on the habits you construct piece by piece. Discipline begins with a simple truth. You must do what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. Most people never master this. They chase a feeling instead of building a habit. They want excitement. They want instant energy. They want intensity without consistency. They convince themselves they need motivation before taking action. But you choose something different. You choose to show up even on the quiet days. You choose to stay committed even when your mood is low. You choose to act because you promised yourself you would, not because you feel inspired. Building discipline daily gives you a strength that motivation alone can never give you. You start waking up with a clearer direction because you have a routine that supports your future. You begin trusting yourself because your actions match your intentions. You start accomplishing more because discipline removes hesitation. You are no longer stuck in the endless cycle of waiting for the right moment. You create the right moment by acting consistently. There is something powerful about doing the small, uncomfortable tasks every single day. These tasks shape your discipline more than big goals do. When you complete them, you feel a quiet fire inside your chest. You feel grounded. You feel responsible. You feel capable. These small actions stack, one on top of another, until they form a level of strength that is impossible to fake. Discipline grows in real time, not in sudden bursts. It grows through repetition, effort, and self-respect. Most people fold the moment their motivation fades. They start something new with excitement, but quit when the feeling weakens. They get caught in cycles of starting strong and stopping early. This ruins their confidence. This makes them doubt themselves. This steals their momentum. But you break that cycle by choosing discipline over mood. When everyone else slows down, you remain steady. When others take breaks they did not earn, you continue moving forward. When others drift away after their motivation fades, you build your future through consistency. Building discipline daily also strengthens your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who can rely on their own decisions, someone who follows through, someone who grows even on the hard days. This identity becomes your anchor. It holds you firm when challenges appear. It keeps you moving when progress feels slow. It reminds you of who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Every act of discipline deepens your sense of control. You stop feeling like life happens to you. You start feeling like life responds to your actions. You set your alarm earlier, and you get up. You plan your tasks, and you complete them. You choose a goal, and you take steps toward it every day. This consistency gives you a sense of stability that people who rely on motivation never experience. Discipline also simplifies your life. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop arguing with your excuses. You stop wasting energy deciding whether you should act. You follow a structure that supports your growth. You understand that your discipline is building a version of you who can handle more, achieve more, and become more. This understanding gives you focus. It gives you direction. It gives you purpose. Building discipline daily teaches you how to manage your emotions. You learn to notice your feelings without letting them control your actions. You learn to take a deep breath and move forward anyway. You learn that a slow moment is not a stop. You learn that a tired day is not the end of progress. You learn that feelings are temporary, but your discipline shapes your future. This emotional strength puts you far ahead of those who depend on motivation alone. Most people stop when things feel uncomfortable. They stop when the excitement fades. They stop when the results take time. They stop because they believe motivation should carry them. But motivation is not a reliable partner. It comes and goes without warning. Discipline, however, stays with you. Discipline grows stronger the more you use it. Discipline builds habits that last for life. When you build discipline daily, you begin achieving things you once thought were impossible. You finish tasks you used to avoid. You follow routines you once thought were too demanding. You push through challenges that used to discourage you. You stay committed when the old version of you would have quit. You feel your confidence rising because you see the truth. Success is not built on excitement, it is built on consistent action. Discipline also improves how you use your time. You stop wasting hours on meaningless activities. You stop letting distractions steal your energy. You stop letting other people decide your schedule. You become protective of your time because discipline teaches you the value of each hour. You begin using your mornings with purpose. You begin closing your days with intention. You begin living with structure instead of chaos. You also become more dependable not just to others, but to yourself. You know that when you set a goal, you will pursue it. You know that when you make a commitment, you will honor it. You know that when you create a plan, you will follow it. This level of reliability changes everything. It makes you trustworthy in your own eyes. And when you trust yourself, the world becomes easier to navigate. Building discipline daily gives you long-term confidence. Not the loud confidence that fades after a few days, but the steady confidence that grows as your actions and progress align. You no longer chase quick wins. You seek real growth. You no longer look for motivation to save you. You save yourself through discipline. Most people will always rely on temporary motivation because it feels easier. They will continue searching for quick excitement instead of steady effort. They will live in cycles of starting and quitting. But you will rise not because you have more motivation, but because you build more discipline. You understand that true success comes from the actions you repeat daily, not the feelings that come and go. This is how you build a powerful life. This is how you grow into the strongest version of yourself. This is how you move ahead while others stay stuck. You build discipline daily while they rely on temporary motivation.